Have you ever had that dream where you're falling from a huge height, or you're running for your life from some shadowy figure? If you have, you're definitely not alone. But these aren't just random, spooky nightmares. Think of them as urgent messages from your subconscious, telling you that your stress levels are getting way too high. These dreams feel so incredibly real because your brain is trying to get your attention. During REM sleep, your brain is working overtime to sort through your emotions and memories. When you're really stressed out, it can throw a wrench in that whole process, leading to vivid, anxiety-packed dreams that feel terrifyingly real. So instead of thinking of these dreams as a curse, see them as a built-in feedback system. They're your mind's way of waving a big red flag about the overwhelming pressures you might be brushing off in your daily life. Today, we're going to break down the 5 most common stress dreams and what your mind is really trying to tell you. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for the 5th one. It's the most subtle, but it's also one of the biggest warning signs of emotional overload. All right, let's kick things off with a heart-pounding classic, being chased. You're running, you can't breathe, your legs feel like they're stuck in mud, but something or someone is right behind you. You might not even see what it is, you just know you have to escape. This dream is basically your subconscious screaming at you that you're avoiding something. When you dream you're being chased, it's a huge sign that you are actively running from a problem, a tough conversation, or an emotion you don't want to deal with. The more you ignore it, the faster it will run after you in your sleep. So who's doing the chasing? That's a huge clue. If it's a faceless stranger, it probably represents a general anxiety or a problem you haven't quite put your finger on yet. If it's an animal, think about what that animal means to you. Is it aggression, a raw fear, or maybe it represents a specific person? And if you're being chased by someone you know, it's less about being scared of them and more about what they represent, a responsibility you're dodging or a part of yourself you're not ready to confront. The message here is pretty clear. Running away isn't working. Your mind is telling you that whatever you're running from is catching up. This dream is a wake-up call to turn around, face what's chasing you, and figure out what it really is. What's that deadline you're dreading? What difficult conversation have you been putting off? Facing it is the only way to stop the chase. Dream number 2 is that sudden, stomach-in-your-throat feeling of falling. You slip off a cliff, tumble out of a building, or the floor just vanishes. It feels so real it often jolts you awake. Dreaming of falling is almost always a symbol of feeling a total lack of control in your life. It reflects a situation where you feel insecure, unstable, and like you have no support. Think about how we talk in real life. We fall behind at work, a relationship is falling apart, or our plans fall flat. Your dream just takes that feeling and makes it literal. This dream usually pops up when you're dealing with a major life challenge that feels completely overwhelming. Maybe it's pressure from your job, a rocky relationship, or money worries. It's your mind's way of yelling that you feel helpless and that your grip on things is slipping. The details matter here, too. If you were pushed, you might feel betrayed or forced into a situation you don't want. If you tripped first, it could point to a fear of making a small mistake that will lead to a massive failure. And if you just fall forever without hitting the ground, it can signal a long period of anxiety with no end in sight. To figure this one out, ask yourself, where in my life do I feel completely out of control? The dream is pushing you to find the source of that insecurity and get your feet back on solid ground. Okay, the 3rd stress dream is one of the most unsettling. Your teeth getting loose, crumbling, or straight up falling out of your head. You might feel them with your tongue or watch them fall into your hands, usually with a wave of absolute panic. This dream is deeply tied to your personal power, your appearance, and how you communicate. Our teeth are a big part of our image and how we express ourselves. To lose them in a dream often points to a deep insecurity, a fear of being judged, or feeling powerless. There are a few ways to interpret this one. It can be about stress and a loss of control, popping up when you feel like you're losing something important, a job, a relationship, or even your sense of who you are. It can also be linked to grief. Another huge interpretation is all about communication. Your mouth and teeth are how you speak your truth. Dreaming of losing them might mean you're holding back from saying something really important. Are you swallowing your words or feeling like nobody is listening to you? This dream shows you the frustrating results of not being able to express yourself. And finally, since teeth are so linked to our appearance, this dream can reflect major anxiety about your self-worth or how people see you. If you're worried about your reputation or embarrassed about something, that vulnerability can show up as your teeth falling out. The key is to figure out where you feel powerless or unheard and tackle that anxiety head-on. By the way, if you're finding this helpful and you've had any of these dreams, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel, and we'd love to have you join us as we figure out what our brains are up to every week. The fourth dream is one that pretty much everyone has had: being unprepared. The most common version is showing up for a final exam for a class you forgot you were even taking. That cold dread washes over you as you realize you're about to fail. Other versions are being unprepared for a big presentation at work or completely forgetting your lines on stage. This is the classic performance anxiety dream. It means you're feeling tested and judged in your waking life, and you're terrified you won't measure up. The funny thing is, this dream is most common among people who are perfectionists and high achievers, people who would never let this happen in real life. Here's the twist: that professor or boss who's judging you in the dream, it's not them, it's you. You're the one setting these impossibly high standards for yourself and then stressing about not meeting them. It often shows up when you're facing a new challenge, like starting a new job or taking on more responsibility. You feel like an imposter, totally exposed, and you doubt you can handle the pressure. The message of this dream is to practice some self-compassion. Your subconscious is telling you to ease up and stop judging yourself so harshly. Your fear of failure is becoming overwhelming. So ask yourself, where am I setting the bar way too high? Trust in your skills and give yourself credit for how far you've come. And finally, our fifth dream, which might be the most awkward of them all: suddenly realizing you're naked in public. You're at school, at work, or on a busy street, and the rest of the dream is just a panicked scramble to cover up, burning with shame and exposure. This dream is the ultimate symbol of vulnerability. It's not about actually being naked. It's about the fear of being seen for who you really are, flaws and all. Our clothes are like armor. They're how we show a curated version of ourselves to the world. Being without them in a dream means you feel psychologically exposed, like people can see right through you. This dream often happens when you're in a new situation where you feel out of place, like a new job or social circle. You might worry that you don't belong and that any second, everyone's going to find out you're a fraud. It's the fear of judgment in its purest form. Now, the feeling in the dream is key. If you feel panicked and ashamed, it points directly to insecurity. But in the rare case that you feel free or unbothered by being naked, it could actually be a positive sign. It might mean you're ready to be more open, honest, and authentic in your life. For most of us, though, it's a stress dream. It's asking you to think about where you feel exposed or fake. What are you hiding because you're scared of what people will think? The goal is to build real self-acceptance. When you get comfortable in your own skin in real life, you won't have to fear being exposed in your dreams. So, being chased, falling, losing your teeth, being unprepared, and being naked in public, these aren't just random brain glitches. They are meaningful signals from the deepest part of your mind that your stress has hit a tipping point. Your dreams aren't the problem, they're the diagnostic tool. They're pointing you toward the real-life issues you need to address: the avoidance, the lack of control, the fear of failure, and the vulnerability. The best way to handle these dreams is to handle your stress during the day. So pay attention to your dreams. They're offering you priceless insight into your emotional state. And by learning their language, you can go from being a victim of your stress to being in control of your own well-being. What stress dreams do you have? Share them in the comments below. You might be surprised how many other people are having the same ones. And if you want to go even deeper into how your mind works, check out our next video on lucid dreaming and how you can actually take control of your dream world. Thanks for watching.